you ever felt.
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everyone, this is Mr. Dragon Liger here to talk to you about where is Destiny headed after Season of the Undying ends and when Season of the Dawn starts on December 10th. Bungie is going to hold a reveal this Wednesday for Season of the Dawn. We know from a This Week at Bungie previous post that some of our favorite weapons are getting a nerf, like the Recluse, which means we can't just endlessly spray enemies and use it as a crutch without actually aiming. And we know that Xenophage is getting a buff in terms of 50% damage increase. Our solar subclasses are also going to be receiving a increase or a rework to the damage and the perks involved with it. If you're now, I'm just going to paraphrase what's they have listed, but if you're a hunter and you're running Way of the Sharpshooter, they increase the 3-shot auto aim distance, and they increase the reliability when aiming down sights for the 6-shot, and they shorten the damage fall off range. Now we have a new weighted knife. It's a high damage knife throw with a long windup. 1-hit precision final blows in PvP, so that's a good thing. I can see that getting interesting. The practice makes perfect perk will last longer, but it will give you less energy back per second. Now the new knock 'em down, it's a precision final blow, which will increase your weapon stability and your ADS speed. The timer will start at 10 seconds, but any additional final blow will increase it up to 25 seconds. Casting your super with this buff above 20 seconds consumes the final buff and grants extra damage, but it will not stack with Celestial Nighthawk. Now, I think those are some good changes to the subclass. I think a lot of people haven't been using it a lot. They've been finding more comfort in using the Blade Barrage. At least that's a lot of what I see in the Crucible. If you're a Titan who runs Code of the Devastator, your Roaring Flame perk received a buff to its bonus damage, and that now lasts 25% longer. The base damage of the Throwing Hammer melee ability has increased. Your Burning Maul now lasts longer. It also has an increased height of the Heavy Slam explosion. They increased your Throwing Hammer damage and increased the radius to how far you have to be from when you can pick it back up from the ground. They did that from 2 meters to 3.5 meters. Your Roaring Flame has increased damage in PvP also, and they increased its duration from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. So that should make some interesting matches, with the Burning Maul's duration being increased from 21.2 seconds to 28.5 seconds. So Roaring Flame and the Burning Maul should make some interesting matches in PvP. I definitely can see the increases in PvE. Now, if you're a Warlock and you run Tune of the Atonement of the Sky, your Icarus Dash while you're in Daybreak has an increased speed and the thrust to the recapture the burst glide gameplay. Your new Celestial Fire melee sends a spiral of 3 explosive solar projectiles. So it sounds to me like it's going to be like the handheld Nova Bomb. Your Heat Rises perk is going to get a rework where you consume your grenade to extend your glide time and dramatically reduce the in-air accuracy penalties for weapons. The Winged Sun is getting a rework where fire weapons use celestial fire and you throw grenades while gliding. Your airborne final blows will grant melee energy and extend the duration of the Heat Rises perk. Icarus Dash is also getting a rework where you double tap crouch to dodge while you're in midair. Dodging in Daybreak will accelerate you further, and it costs less super energy while you're under the effect of heat rises. Now, I think that Season of the Undying, since it was packaged with Shadowkeep, it's easy to look like there's more content there than there really is. I did enjoy Shadowkeep, though. I enjoyed the dungeon. I preferred it a whole lot more than the Shattered Throne. It was more enjoyable for me and my fire team. Let's see here. Now on the artifact, it's resetting, so any power bonus you got from that will go away at the beginning of Season of the Dawn, and all those mods that were you had unlocked are going to go away. Now, they haven't said if any of them are going to return next season, but I think that the anti-barrier rounds and unstoppable rounds and things like that, it's going to have to come back in one form or another. Otherwise, it's going to leave some activities useless because you're not going to have that perk to break shields and progress through the nightmare hunts or strikes. I hope that with Shadow of the Dawn, there is more content than what came with Season of the Undying. Otherwise, people are going to be really starving for content about 2 or 3 weeks in. Unless, you're into the whole power grind of endless amount of power. You're not going to be bored in that sense. But in terms of content, replayability, if the content's not there, I see more Destiny players dropping off like they have in the past. The pinnacle power grind for this season was horrible, and there really was no incentive to keep reaching pinnacle power because you could just use the artifact to bridge the gap between 950 and 960 easily in this season. So I hope that they get a better control over pinnacle power. There also was way too many Iron Banners this season, and the season was shortened because a season of the Undying and Shadowkeep got delayed by about 2 weeks, and so that was an even smaller window to put 3 Iron Banners in. So it seemed like every other week was an Iron Banner. I think within this season they should have just had 2 Iron Banners instead of 3. I think they just put a third one in just to throw some content at you to bridge the gap between the end of this season to the next season. Let's see here. Festival of the Lost, I think by putting Iron Banner with it at the same time, I think you took away from Festival of the Lost. I also don't think Festival of the Lost should have lasted as long as it did. You probably could have collapsed it into a 1-week event and then maybe put the Iron Banner in there instead of running them at the same time. So, guys, I think that's it for today. If you want to leave a comment to tell me what you're interested in me covering or what you thought of the video. If you're interested in me reading the TWAB this week at Bungie word for word, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know. If you're watching this before reset, make sure you go see Xur in the Tower for any exotics you might be missing, or if you're looking for a random roll possibly on something you already have. But if you don't mind, smash the like button, subscribe to get updates, hit the notification, and you can also find me at on Twitter at twitter.com/Mr. Dragonliger. See you guys.